Brothers and sisters, welcome. Today, I think it's a good time to talk about Trump. Trump just got elected not that long ago. He's waiting for Inauguration Day. And that has really annoyed some people in Scotland, is what I'm hearing. I was out talking to some people, and they said, "Hey, did you hear the story about Trump and his golf course out in Scotland?" And I said, "No, tell me about it." And they said, "Hey, he's there's somebody who's so mad at Trump for getting elected. He's running around and he's pooping in the holes in the golf course." And I was like, "Why is he doing that?" "Well, it's because Trump called Scotland a shithole." And I'm like, "Wow." It's like, I haven't seen that story. I said, "Hey, is there a link like you could send me?" He's like, "No, I saw it out on TikTok." And I'm like, "Well, and you guys all know if it's on TikTok, it's got to be true. So let me go out and look." So I did. And what did I find? Sure enough, he was right. Trump's golf course in Scotland has had to increase security because righteous Scottish men have been breaking in and shitting in the holes. Knowing this makes me so very proud of my Scottish heritage. Not all heroes wear capes. Well, I wouldn't say this makes me proud as a Scotsman myself, but there are some Scotsmen out there that are really savages. So, maybe it's true. But, I thought about it a little harder and said, well, let me see if I can, find this. I want to know more. And, I think you guys want to know more. And I would not be happy if Trump, called Scotland, bad names. And it actually shocks me since his mother was Scottish and I think she was born on the Isle of Lewis, or Lewis. So it just seems like a crazy story to me. But
the president tonight apparently uncorking another astonishing statement, complaining to lawmakers in the Oval Office about protections for immigrants. Why do we want these people from, quote, all these shithole countries here? According to a Democratic aide familiar with the conversation, Mr. Trump was referring to African nations and Haiti, before suggesting the U.S. should have more people from places like Norway, whose prime minister he met yesterday. A White House spokesman tonight not denying the president's words, but saying certain Washington politicians choose to fight for foreign countries, but President Trump will always fight for the American people. It comes as lawmakers try to hammer out an immigration deal, with time running out for hundreds of thousands of young undocumented immigrants called Dreamers. The crass remark punctuating a wild day in Washington.
okay, so it appears Trump definitely has called a few places, shitholes. But these places seem like they were in Africa, and Haiti. Not good, but not Scotland. Um, and then I kept looking, and I'm like, okay, are other people talking about this? And sure enough, they are. Uh, Gray Kitten. Blue Gray Kitten is, and again, this is November, 17th. Anyone else read about the Scots, pooping in the Orange Man's golf course? How great is that? Shelley MCM thinks that's disgusting to do that with somebody you disagree with. Ginny Mitchell, she hopes it's true. She definitely knows some Scots that would do that. And, Mystic 541 thinks that's typical, the feral behavior. Like I said, there are savages everywhere. And then the funny part is he bought the course because he wanted to be part of the British Open, according to Golfer and Cart. Okay. All right. So there's something to this. There's people talking about this out there. And so I don't know. Do we, can we find more? I see according to Russell Howard, Trump's golf course in Scotland needs extra security because angry Scottish men keep breaking in and pooping in the holes. Okay, all right. Oh, that's 2017 though. Okay, but all right. Um, Tanya thinks that's a fun fact for the visuals. And oh, JNCO thinks, Scottish women are stepping up. I don't know about that. According to the New York Post, mystery pooper has tortured golf course for a decade. All right, we're getting somewhere now. Hole in one, no hole in two. More like, oh, that's a bad one. For the past decade, a Norwegian, not Scotland, golf course has been dealing with a serial pooper who decides to leave dirty toilet paper and feces at the bottom of holes. UPI reported Stavanger Golf Course, a scenic waterside course in Hartsheford. I don't know if I said that right. Doesn't really matter. Claims they've been finding poop in the course's cups since 2005. And the worst part is they've no clue who's been doing it. Well, it's in Norway. In 2005, Trump wasn't on the radar for president yet, so this story isn't looking good. But it's a start. He has a couple of favorite holes, according to the groundskeeper. And we know it's a man because his poos are too massive to be from a woman. I don't know. I've seen some big women, but he's probably right. I'll go with that. Tenford said the mysterious pooper only lays his tracks on weekdays. The clubs tried catching the culprit by installing high-powered lights, but to no avail. All right. All right, so we're on the track. We found a story about pooping at the golf course. Problem is, it's not Trump and it's not Norway yet. All right, it's not Scotland yet. It's in Norway. So let's let the hunt continue. I'm thinking there must be a police report about this somewhere if it's happening. So I found Newsweek talking about it. Newsweek. Now we're a little more recent. We're up to 2019 now, and so Trump was president at the time, and we've got Donald Trump golf course hit by vandalism, theft, threatening messages since president took office. I don't see any poop, but there's some crime happening at the golf course. All right, let's see what's going on at the golf course. Donald Trump's course in Aberdeenshire has been the site of several reported crimes over the last 4 years, including instances of vandalism, fire-raising, theft, and threatening message. Data obtained by Newsweek says the majority of the crimes happened, after he was elected in November 2016, but looks like some were before. 6 of the 11 crimes took place after Trump was elected. 4 were earlier. A spokesman for the police said that these are recorded crimes. They don't always involve charges being brought or incidents where someone was found guilty. All right, so these are just police reports that sometimes the police dismiss or the prosecutor dismissed the charges. But it may have gone to trial. They may have been convicted. We don't know that. All right. And it looks like, according to Newsweek, any incident of the crime at a specific address or within a limited area may have taken place outside the boundary or in the general area surrounding it, like the road outside the property. All right. So these happened on the property or really just adjacent to it. That was really the closest address. Okay, fair enough. And then we got a chart. They got us a nice little table, not a chart. 2016 to 2019, we had some crime. We had an extortion. We had theft that's not a motor vehicle. We had shoplifting. We had theft from a motor vehicle. Ooh, fire raising, that looks serious, excluding mini burns. We had one of those. Arson is always bad, right? Vandalism, okay, that could be poop. We could be getting there. We can be getting there on that. Urinating, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. That could be that we're finally getting to something. Litter offenses, we got one of those. 2 post office type offenses and an accident on the property or close to. Okay, all right, so urinating and vandalism looks promising. Let's see what these are about. All right, so we got a vandalism where a vehicle looks like was vandalized on the property, parked at a public park, a member of the public park there. Four other crimes were threats of extortion. Another instance, officers noted over a period where one was an accident offense and two reports were theft. So extortion, accident, and theft. And one of them was shoplifting. Okay. Um, and then the case filed under threats and extortion was a threatening message. All right. I think these are all kind of normal things that happen at any, business, bad things happen. Occasionally you got to call the police. So let's get to the good stuff. Um, One was urinating and a litter and theft from a vehicle, two were post office. Okay. Um, so on the telecommunications offense, it was offensive phone calls. Um, all right, so that's the post office thing. The urinating. This is the one I wanted to talk about. So the urinating case in 2016, April, was a 61-year-old woman who was photographed urinating and later brought a privacy case against Trump International, which she lost in 2017. The woman said on Facebook she was charged under a law that dishes out fines for urinating in a way that could cause annoyance to any person. But the procurator fiscal didn't take further action. Okay. And then, I know she might have been embarrassed and she feels her privacy would be invaded, but I'm in America right now, not in Scotland, so I can't really say. But in America, I think if you go pee in public and somebody takes a picture, that's kind of on you. You're not supposed to pee in public. I don't really think you have an expectation of privacy while you're peeing in public. But I could be wrong. Again, I'm not a lawyer. So if anybody knows better, please put it in the comments if they have any more information on that in the UK or in the US. But I think you're fair game in public. All right. And then fire raising, reports a small patch of grass was found damaged. Inquiries required about the established nature of the incident. All right. So no charges were brought related to it. So like somebody set a campfire or somebody was setting off firecrackers, something like that. That's what it sounds like. So that's good. It wasn't like somebody didn't try to burn something down and hurt someone. And then, it looks like Aberdeenshire is relatively safe place. According to Martin Ford, a local councillor, and also Trump critic, I should add. He feels this is a high incidence of crime on the Trump property. Okay, but okay, maybe so. But again, he is a Trump critic, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. You really need to get the police to say whether they feel this is a high rate compared to other things they're seeing. But okay, I'll buy it. There's a lot of crime at Trump's facility. So anyway, I didn't find any pooping, so I'm disappointed. So, but the search continues. Earlier on we talked about was it Russell Davies? Was that the guy's name? That he said it was happening. All right. So, oh no, Russell Howard. Sorry, Russell Davies, whoever you are. But Russell Howard, that was in one of the earlier things we looked at, was saying it was happening. All right. Oh yeah, and it's in the Scottish Sun. That's a good, upstanding, reputable paper. I mean, you can't get much better than that. That's like the London Times, right? So if the Scottish Sun says it, it must be so. So what do we got here? Stink on the links. All right. I want my brother to take a dump on Donald Trump's Scottish golf course, says comic Russell Howard. Oh, he's a comic, is he? All right, let's see if this is funny. The TV funny man is taking his latest tour around the world, and he can't wait to play Glasgow and Aberdeen. Okay. It's his birthday. He wants to celebrate his birthday in Scotland by having his brother take a dump on the course. And he can't wait. Trump International golf stinks, okay? That might be the vandalism we saw earlier. And the star thinks his brother he thinks getting his brother Daniel would be a perfect way to mark the occasion. Me personally, I mean, you do you, but I think I got better ways to spend my birthday. His brother's coming up, and he noticed Donald Trump has got a golf course nearby, so he's going to try to get his brother to take a shit on in every hole at the course as a birthday present to me. Well, every hole, there's 18 holes. He's probably going to need some like medical attention after that, or he's going to need some prescription or some medicine to help him, accomplish that. I think if you can manage that at 18 holes, we should probably alert Guinness. The is it the McWhirters who did the Guinness Book of Records? I could be lying again, but yeah, I think you should alert Guinness and the media if you can poop in 18 holes. Well, I'm assuming this is all at once. He's a better man than me. I can't do it. Um, he's currently unemployed, so he doesn't care, and there's every chance we could get him to do it. All right, fair enough. Russell became, oh yeah, I like the emoji. Russell became a household name in 2006 when he started on a comedy panel show called Mock the Week with Frankie Boyle. The show propelled Russell's career, but he admits it wasn't the same after Frankie. All right, so I think we now know, where all this came from. And I think we finally got to the facts. So what do I think about it?
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
And so I think she said it pretty well. um, what do I personally think? Again, I'm not a lawyer and I don't pretend to be one on TV. So this is definitely not legal advice or really anything you should really even listen to. But um, one, I don't think he called Scotland a shithole. Yes, Trump has said a lot of bad things. He sent a lot of mean tweets. But we should probably go after him for the things he really did say and for the things he really did do. And so I think he did say this about Haiti, and I think he did say this about Africa, some countries in Africa, but I don't think he said this from Scotland. His mom's Scottish, for God's sake. I'm not buying that one. And now, what do I think about the pooper? I think a comedian was trying to be funny and he was trying to get clicks and trying to get somebody to go watch him on his tour and saw this story about the Norwegian serial pooper and turned that into a good story, which I think is great for a comic show. But I don't think it's so great, to say it's happening when it's not really happening, but by people of the general public who aren't comics. So I think, I think we really got to remember everything on the internet is not real, and we really need to be thinking, skeptical, in my view. People have kind of lost the ability to do critical thinking. Everyone is just doing herd mentality. Hey, Orange Man bad. We know he always sends out mean tweets. So he must have done this and start laughing about it. But I don't think it really happened. And I don't think it helps anyone to tell lots of people and spread misinformation like this. People are always talking about misinformation on the internet. And so I think the way to fight misinformation is not to shut down the misinformation. I think it's great that all these stories out there, they're funny. But if they're not true, I think I should do what I did and put out some more information. So you combat misinformation with better information, is my view. And then you need to critically think and be skeptical about the stuff you see. Now, I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, please do say so in the comments, and tell me if you got links that show I've got this wrong. I will absolutely do an update to this story. And then also, if you like this kind of stuff, I'm going to do more of these. Please like, subscribe. If you don't want to miss a video, hit the little bell. You guys all know what to do. And I'll make more of these.